What is up, YouTube? Today I'm coming back at you with another video, and today's video is going to be a video that I haven't done, a topic that I haven't done a video on in a while, and that is tabletop RPGs. So those of you that subscribe to see more tabletop RPG content, here you go. I got something very, very special in terms of tabletop RPGs, something very cool. So I picked up one of the Basic Edition box sets, and I picked up one of the lesser known and lesser appreciated Basic Edition box sets. In fact, the version that I picked up is the last version of Basic Edition ever, before they discontinued it, basically. And many people, I've done a bunch of research, and a lot of the YouTube videos I have watched, a lot of people refer to the Rule Cyclopedia as the last version of Basic Edition. While it is sort of true, it's not entirely true. There was a box set that was released alongside the Rule Cyclopedia that was supposed to be more of an introductory box set to the Basic Edition, while the Rule Cyclopedia was supposed to be the collected volume. And I understand why they did that, and I think it's a really good idea why they did that, because the Rule Cyclopedia, while looking at it, is very intimidating. Even though the base rules are simple, there are so many optional things, and the book is so thick, and there's so much going on, that it seems sort of intimidating. It becomes sort of bloated like Pathfinder is, but for Basic Edition. So they released Black Box Basic alongside of the Rule Cyclopedia. Once those were out for a few years and the sales started to drop, they re-released the Black Box. They kind of re-released it, but a lot of the material in here is the same, but there are some key differences. And this is the last version, and that is the tan box version of Basic Edition D&D. The official name of it is the Classic Dungeons & Dragons game. And basically this is a lot of the material from Black Box repackaged into this. They did make a new rule book, so it's not the same rule book, but a lot of the content is very similar, like all of the basic versions. The content is very similar. So what is different about this set in particular? This set takes you from levels 1 to 5. The set also includes a 3-part adventure built into the rule book. It includes 6 plastic molded figures. It includes 24 paper enemy tokens, and it includes a double-sided map, a single-sided poster map, and what includes a set of dice. This set here that I own is almost fully complete. It is only missing 4 of the dice and 1 of the paper tokens. Other than that, it has all of the plastic figures. And it comes with it also comes with the Dungeon Master screen, which is something the Black Box didn't come with. And it's very, very cool. So, very cool. This came out in 1994. And what else can I say about it? I picked it up on eBay, and it seems to be in really, really good shape. I got a really good deal on this set, too. One thing I really like about this set is a lot of the Basic Edition, the original print Basic Edition stuff, is really expensive. Like, I was really interested in getting the Red Box, for example. I have had trouble finding any version of the Red Box under $100. And even if I do find anything, it's normally only one of the 2 books that comes in the Red Box, and that's for like $60 a pop. And that's just too expensive. Blue Box, Basic Edition, the Holmes Edition, or BX, both of those editions are cheaper than the Red Box. However, they are just, I don't know. I really would have rather had the Red Box, but this set right here, I think, is a great compromise because it takes you to levels 5, and this set is much cheaper than any of the other Basic Edition sets right now. The cardboard is actually held up pretty well. It's got some squishing going on, but what can you really do with a set this old? So this set is 24 years old, going to be 25 next year. Or no, 25. It might be 25 years old. I don't know exactly when this came out, but this is 24 to 25 years old. And yeah, so I will switch the camera angle, we'll do an unboxing, and we'll talk about each individual piece as we go through it. So let me do a jump cut, and we'll go to my floor my carpet, and we'll do an unboxing of this set of D&D. Alright, we're back. Actually I had to change to my old tripod just because my new tripod has a ball mount on it, and I couldn't get the right angle. So here we are, pointed at my carpet, and as you can see, here's the cover. So let's unbox it and go through each thing. So we'll slide the cover off here, and inside you can see I bagged up some of these things. When I bought it, they were just kind of rattling around loose, so I put them in some baggies. But this is basically what you would have saw. I have some of the things already separated. So first thing is, like I said, so this is missing a couple components. It's missing one of the paper tokens and 4 of the dice. So I do have 3 of the original dice that came in this set. You have the D12, the D10, and the D4. Each individually colored. There would have been a full set of dice. Each die would have had its own color to it to help distinguish it from the rest of the dice. But like I said, only had these 3 in the box. So like I said, I did buy it used, but it did come pretty much entirely complete. Along with that, you have your paper tokens for enemies and NPCs. So you would have had, let's see, I'm not sure how, okay, so you can see those. So you have a blind man, a minotaur, a Xander, Tem, a dwarf, guard, green slime, a gnoll, kobold, wolf, things like that. There are no duplicates, unfortunately, but you basically just fold these in half, and then you would have stuck this tab into a slit that you create, and that's how you would have used these. It looks like these were never used on this set, so it is in pretty good shape. I have all of them except for one. I don't know which one is missing, but I am missing one of them, because when I counted, I had 23 instead of 24 of them. So I am missing one of them, not sure which one, but that's unfortunate. So it also came with the plastic figures. You have a warrior here. They are really, really nicely detailed figures. Like, I am impressed with the amount of detail on these figures. It seems like they're better molded than the modern D&D figures, honestly. It's kind of got like a almost rubber texture plastic. It's really, really, it seems like it's really durable, which is really nice, and the mold looks really good. But you have this warrior with a 2-handed axe. You have this guy, which I'm assuming is an elf from the looks of it. It's hard to say what this guy is exactly. My girlfriend and I were having trouble figuring out what he is supposed to be. But my best guess, based on the rest of the figures, is this guy is supposed to be an elf. One thing that I really was upset about with these figures is there are 7 classes in this version of basic D&D, but only 6 figures. You have your rogue or thief. You've got, let's see what else we got in here. You have your dwarf. Really, really cool. He's got a big old axe and a little buckler. Let's see, you got your magic user holding his staff. Really traditional magic user. And lastly, you got the cleric. Now the cleric looks like he has a big 2-handed club of some sort, or a big 2-handed mace. He's got a big old cross on his helmet, which I'm surprised wasn't broken off, honestly. I mean, look how tiny that little cross on the top of his helmet is. And it's still on there, so really, really nice that I have all those figures in pretty much perfect shape. But yeah, so those are all the figures, and if you've been counting, you know one of the figures that, like I said, there's only 6 figures, so that is all of them. But the class that's missing from the basic set is the halfling. There is no halfling figure, which is very odd. I don't understand why they didn't include one more figure for the 7th class in this set. It doesn't make any sense. So the next item on here is the Dungeon Master screen. So the Dungeon Master screen is thin cardboard. It's usable for sure. It's got all your information on the panels in the back here. Everything you'll need to know to run this basic edition of D&D. On the back side, that's what it looks like. But it is very thin cardstock. So I'm not sure how durable this would be, but I definitely will say it's durable enough to actually use. So not as bad as just straight paper, but not as durable as modern DM screens, to be sure. The next item in here is the map. So this map goes along with the adventure in the book. Let me unfold it. Oops, knocked over those figures. My bad. So this map goes with the adventure in there. The map has seen some use. There are some stains on the back side. Flip it to the right side. Alright, so this is the map. You can't really see the whole thing. This is called Xander's Dungeon. And each room is individually labeled. This one's room 6, room 5, room 1. And when you go through the rule book, it'll tell you what's in each room and what to do for each room and whatnot, and how to go through this dungeon. So it's just a one-sided poster that has this dungeon printed on it. It's really, really nice. I like the detail that is printed in this room. It seems like it's much more detailed than a lot of modern maps that you will get with adventures nowadays. I feel like a lot of maps you get nowadays just have very basic art style to it. Well, this has like a very unique art style. You can see they even spent the time to put little rocks in between the walls, and you know, the shadowing, and a lot of these rocks don't look the same. It looks like each rock is an individual drawn thing, so it's got some uniqueness to it, and I really like that. Now this dungeon could be used for other things, but like I said, this is mainly for the adventure in the book, so it's not going to get a whole lot of reusability because it is only this side. But it is cool to have a dungeon map given to you nonetheless. So let me fold that back up. And the last thing you'll get in here is the Rules and Adventure book, and then it's just got the empty box. So the Rules and Adventure book is pretty thick. My copy is pretty beat up, but it just has some love to it. Let me put these figures out of the way so I can open up the book. These guys out of the way. Alright. So, the Rules and Adventure book. So what's contained in here is basically exactly what it said. Exactly what it says. Has all the rules for making a character. Has how to use this book, how to be a dungeon master, Xander's Dungeon, an explanation of what that is. Basically, Xander's Dungeon is a unique adventure, and the fact that as you learn to play the game, it will provide another part of the adventure that explains and demonstrates that specific key concept, which is kind of nice, but I would prefer, honestly, just to have an adventure laid out like a traditional adventure. So you'll get little, these panels here that explain things in better detail. What is Dungeons and Dragons game character, how to make a character. So and then it gives you a, see here, these panels here are part of the Xander's Dungeon adventure. So it says breakfast and blank, and basically this part of the adventure, the first part of the adventure, you go through like a sort of like a little thing that walks you through making a character. So basically this introductory adventure basically walks you through how to make a character, walks you through how to do combat, and it's very, very like Tutorial Island-esque. So it's not going to be an adventure that you want to run again and again and again. It's really just an introductory on how to make a character and basically teach you how to play the game in general. So then if you don't want to use the introductory adventure to create your character and whatnot, it does give you the base rules for creating characters and stuff. So here you have the fighter, then you have the cleric here. A magic user starts over here. As you can see, it goes to 5th level for every class. Let's see, you have the thief. Like I said, since it only goes to 5th level, the thief skills table is much smaller. You have the dwarf here. And the dwarf does go up to level 5, just like the rest of them. Now that's a little bit unique because the dwarf and the demi-humans are much more powerful in certain senses than a equivalent class of the same level. So a level 5 dwarf could be a lot more powerful than a level 5 fighter. It's just in certain ways. So it's kind of interesting that they went with that, so everything goes up to level 5 regardless if it's demi-human or not. Here you have the elf and the halfling. And like I said, the halfling is not provided in a miniature form, which is kind of upsetting. So you have a section on alignment, a small section on equipment, very small section on equipment. It seems to be a stripped down version of what's in the rule cyclopedia. You don't get anything for siege weapons or anything like that. You do have a small section on adventuring equipment as well. A small section on the different armor types. And character saving throws are really easily broke down since there's only 2 main level versions. So you have cleric level 1 to 4, and then cleric level 5, fighter level 1 to 3, fighter level 4 to 5. And so since there's only real 2 power levels in this book, it makes the tables very easy to get used to, very easy to look at. Running a campaign. You have monster section. Tells you a little bit about how monsters react to things. Then you have purchasing equipment, how to do rolling for money, experience points. You have inside the dungeon, how to get experience points for different monsters. The game turn, movement mapping, the encounter, some optional rules. Not a whole lot of optional rules in this book, which is really nice. I really like when the rules are clearly defined without any optional rules. I prefer optional rules to be in supplementary books rather than the core books, just because it makes it easier to go through. Some more rules on combat, cover, missile combat, hand-to-hand combat. This has optional rules for THAC0. If you want to use THAC0, it uses a chart matrix. Otherwise, Xander's Dungeon. This is another part of the adventure you can run through. It teaches you about combat. Then you have the spell list here. Magic Missile uses a d6, I believe. Let's see. Yep, 1d6 plus 1. Some of the rules are changed in this version of Basic from the previous box sets, but most of the things are here. Let's see. Then we get the Bestiary. So the Bestiary also contains the monster hit table. Since the characters only go up to level 5, you don't have super high level monsters. So monsters only go up to hit dice of, it seems to be 4, or maybe a little bit more than 4. But no, it definitely goes above 4. So I don't know why the monster hit table says 4 max here, because the basilisk here is a hit dice of 6 plus 1. So interesting, probably just because the table ends at 4, probably because that's just the max or something. Yeah. So continuing forward, you have basilisk, bat, bear, giant beetle, sorry, black pudding, which is a different monster I don't think I've ever heard of before. Let's see. Now, I don't think you're going to get anything crazy in here. Like I said, since the characters only go up to level 5, you're only going up to equivalent level creatures. You do get some dragons, though, as you can see here. So, some of the dragons, you get white, black, green, blue, red, and gold. So you get chromatic dragons, except for I guess gold could be a chromatic dragon if you really wanted it to be. But it tells you where they're found. Let's see. So the hit dice looks like they are relatively low-powered dragons, except for the gold and red dragons here are pretty powerful. It tells you a little bit about breaking down dragons, because dragons are a complicated creature for this set. Let's see. Go on the next page here. Talking to dragons, sleeping dragons, gold dragons. And then you go right into elementals. And what I find interesting is there's not a lot of pictures for the monsters, but the dragon picture is like 2 pages away from the dragons. That does not make any sense to me. And it's not like any of these creatures could be this right here. This is definitely a dragon. And there's a gelatinous cube, giants, and ghoul. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why the picture of the dragon is 2 pages away, because the dragon ends on this page. Then you have a whole page about elementals, and then you go to the gargoyle, and then you get a picture of a dragon. Makes no sense. But there's not a lot of pictures for any of the monsters in here. No pictures for goblins. They have a picture for a whatever that guy is. I don't know if that's a kobold or what. I don't think kobolds use magic. I don't think lizard men do either. So we got more monsters. And then you have the end of the adventure. And then you have magic items. Sorry about hitting the camera. Magic items. And then more adventure. And then at the back you have your character sheet and your appendix. So that is that book right there. And that's everything you get in the Tan Box Basic Edition, also known as the Classic Dungeons & Dragons game. It's a really cool edition of the game. I think it's probably one of the best editions to buy currently for basic D&D if you didn't want to get the Rules Cyclopedia. Because the Rules Cyclopedia, which I own, is very daunting. There is a lot of content in there. It goes all the way up to level 36. There's a ton of stuff in there, a ton of optional rules. If you just wanted to get into the basic D&D without any of the crazy extra stuff that you'll get at later levels, this is definitely a version of the game to go for. Because it is cheaper than the more classic red box, blue box, BX editions. And it contains a lot of the same rules. But it takes you a little bit further than just the basic sets. Most of the basic sets only go to level 3. This basic set goes to level 5. And so you get a little bit of extra play time out of this set. It has a good bestiary in it. All of this, it comes with an adventure. All of this stuff is in one single book, which is nice. And it's a nice bound paperback with glue. And it seems like a very high quality book. And you also get plastic minis and paper tokens and dice and a DM screen, which are things that just do not come in the earlier versions of the basic D&D game. So it's a very nice set. It's cheaper than the rest of the basic sets. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and it just has a lot of good stuff in it, and I highly recommend this version. Why does this set so much cheaper? I honestly don't know. You don't really hear anybody talk about this set of the game. It came out towards the end of the TSR D&D franchise as a whole. It was after the Rules Cyclopedia. Most people picked up the Rules Cyclopedia by that point if they wanted to play basic. It's a very interesting version of basic D&D. Contains all of the same sort of things that the basic box sets before it had, but comes with 2 extra levels. So it's very interesting. Not many people talk about it. Definitely worth playing if you want to get into basic. I really want to run this box set at some point, because it seems like a very fun set to run, and a very fun set to play. So let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. If you guys enjoyed taking this look at the Tan Box Basic set, also known as the Classic Dungeons & Dragons game. So I'll show you the back of the box, because I never really got to show you. That's what the back of the box looks like. See, the original price tag on this was $20 US. That's how much I paid for it used, and it seems like a really good value. So really cool artwork in this set too. I mean, that cover is amazing. It's the same cover that's on the box as well. Really awesome cover. It's probably one of my favorite D&D covers. And then you also have an awesome cover for the Dungeon Master screen. This is the cover that was on the black box version of Basic. This might have come in black box as well. I'm not sure though, because it says the classic Dungeons and Dragons game, and I know the black box was called the new Easy to Master Dungeons and Dragons game. So I don't know if this was in the black box or not, but it has the same artwork on the black box. This was the black box cover box artwork. So interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box below, and I'd love to talk more about it. I try to respond to all my comments, and yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this RPG unboxing of Tan Box Basics. So I'll see you guys next time, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.